Dude, I've been following your content for like 2 or 3 months now. It blows my mind what you're able to do on CapCut Mobile. Like it's actually so cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's like I just started on that, like, when I was 16, started editing, just silly little Instagram videos on CapCut Mobile and just never stopped. So I thought I could just master the software and then kinda lean into that as my angle as an editor. It's like showing that so much is possible on CapCut Mobile that I think people have this idea of CapCut Mobile as just like thirst traps or like TikTok edits and shit like that. So I'm trying to like break those stereotypes that you can be like a CapCut Mobile editor. But it's crazy that you can like I've been able to make a career editing for like global brands, literally using
Yeah.
this bummy little iPhone SE, like the worst of the worst iPhones. I
You
really,
use an
yeah,
SE?
yeah. I haven't got a new
Dude.
phone in ages. I think it is definitely time for an upgrade. I think I just
Yeah,
haven't
going
outside for like it's like if I can do it on a phone that's this bad, then I might as well just carry on with it.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
yeah,
mean
all
if
on
you get
CapCut
like
Mobile.
a 16 or something, dude, it's a whole new world if you get iPhone 16.
Oh my god, I'd be overwhelmed with all the capabilities of that. But yeah, I think it's time to
Yeah.
invest, to be honest. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're close.
yeah.
Talk to me like kind of how exactly that started, and I guess like why CapCut Mobile continued to be, I guess, your like your platform of choice to use.
Yeah, so I started social media just after I turned 16, and it was like me and my friends wanted to make a fitness account. So cringy to look back on. The account is still there. I've relabeled it as failed account, so if anyone wants to look that up,
Oh no.
please don't actually, please don't. But it's just like gym videos and then slowly like learning how to do different things. I think I always had an interest for maybe just making money online in general, but also I guess the vain aspect of fame and
Mhm.
getting famous from Instagram. So I just kept that going. Like I tried like really hard to make it work. I planned out, all right, we're gonna have 10K by this, we're gonna have these sponsorships.
Yeah.
And I don't think my friends were at all as invested as I was. And that sort of just became more my thing, and they just slowly faded away from that. And then it
Mhm.
became sort of like I'd built and well, at that point, I had no reason to carry on, I'm not gonna lie. I was making shit videos. Can I swear on this? Is that okay?
Sure, sure, sure. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, making shit videos, no sign of anything blowing up, but for
Mhm.
some reason, I just kept on going. I was like, "This feels like the path for me. I don't want the traditional route." I think quite early on, I decided that I didn't want to go to university, after finishing, like, high school equivalent in the UK,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and once my mind was set on that, just I think consuming more and more content about, self-improvement, online business, you get very obsessed with that, I think I did, and I'm very
Okay.
grateful that happened because
Yeah.
it got to the point later on where I was seeing enough success to sort of keep going, I think. So I stayed on CapCut Mobile because it's what I always knew, and it never seemed like I was finding the limit or like I just could keep on stretching the limits of what was possible. So I just kept going with that, I think, yeah.
Okay. That's pretty sweet. No, how old are you now?
19, turned 19 this
Okay.
summer.
Okay. Well, happy late birthday.
Thank you, man,
Yeah.
thank you.
Funny enough, my birthday is actually tomorrow.
Oh, a happy birthday in advance. How old do you
Thank
turn?
you. Thank you. 26. Be 26. I'll be an old man. I'll be unk.
Yeah, you're young now.
Yes. Um, so that's pretty cool. So kind of around 16, you made that fitness account and it fell by the wayside. And ever since then, you kind of have been going into that sphere of just editing crazy cool content. Like how much of your edits are really planned, or I guess is it like there's a part of it that's just kind of vibing with the footage you get, or how much of that is put together in that way?
Yeah, I don't really schedule anything. I like to think of myself less as an entrepreneur and more as an artist. I think
Mhm.
it's very hard to schedule creativity and creative bursts. So there'll be some days where I make 3 videos in one day, and then I just won't for the next 3 days, and I think I'm okay with that because I think that's just the way that my mind works and allows me to make my best work. And I know there's plenty of people out there that are really good at scheduling and making good content because they have that system. But for me, I've always found just going with the flow has been a lot better for me. And it just sort of it's just making things that I wanna make, and it's really hard to force yourself to make something that you wanna make because
Sure.
obviously it's not gonna work if you don't wanna make it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't really schedule anything, I just go with the flow, yeah.
So how do you come up with your ideas then? Because like I look at the stutter effect video you just made and some other ones where you're like walking in slow-mo or doing some cool masking with the background. Like how do you come up with all that?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that comes from just the way I've developed a lifestyle now and been able to. So I have a lot of time to articulate my ideas. I journal a lot, and if an idea comes to me, literally just right next to me, I've got this ready to write down any idea I have. And then I usually take those ideas. I do sort of format them into a Notion document where I just label it as the cue. So essentially, any idea I have just gets queued in there. And then it's like when I feel ready to act on that idea,
Okay.
that's when I'll go, okay, let's make this into a video now. And then we have the process of taking this raw idea and scripting it, ideating it
Yeah.
properly, and filming, editing, and all of that. But to answer your question of the idea itself, that's a hard one to answer, I guess. Some of that comes from social media and from scrolling. Like occasionally I'll see something, hey, that's really cool. I want to replicate that. And just being able to pull from as many different sources as possible. But I think it runs a lot deeper than that for having
Okay.
truly creative ideas. Because I mean, that effect has been done before. The who's the creator? Joel Roach, I think his name is. I originally saw that stutter effect from where he just kept on
Oh, I
turning
know
his head
him.
and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was so, so cool. He did it for
Mhm.
a Nike campaign, I'm pretty sure. And I thought I can put my own twist on this. And I think it still becomes an original idea when you learn to draw from different pieces of inspiration, whether that's not just from social media, because I think that in a sense is an echo chamber itself where everyone is copying each other until it all just comes full circle in this almost like trapped little environment of ideas bouncing around
Mhm. Yeah.
until an actual artist comes and puts their own spin on it in such a unique way. And I think the way to do that is to draw from your life, essentially, to draw from your childhood, to draw from the films you grew up with, the books that you absolutely love, the conversations that you have with friends, the different stories of different people's lives that you experience when when you travel the world, when you meet new people, and when you actually open yourself up to the world. I guess it's like the best artists aren't inspired by scrolling; they're inspired by life. So, that's something you
Absolutely.
can't really teach. That's just something you have to
Mhm.
learn to tune into, I'd say, yeah.
Okay. So you kind of like to pull from every aspect of your life, whether that's childhood or even now, or music and art and all that kind of stuff. That's an interesting perspective on that. I haven't heard anything like that. That's really cool. So yeah, absolutely. So I guess kind of tying in the entrepreneurship aspect of it, how is that going into your social media? Like, are those two things linked together, or are they going separately? How does that work?
Yeah, so obviously, you do have to still be an entrepreneur whilst being an artist on social media. I'd say I definitely prefer viewing myself as an artist, but, what's that there's that quote from, was it I don't know who said it. Was it Pharrell Williams who said, "Creativity without business." I can't remember. I'm gonna butcher the quote, but essentially, you have to balance being creative and also being an entrepreneur. Otherwise,
Mhm.
one without the other is a um, a failure, I guess, in the sense that if you don't combine
Mhm.
both. So I think being an entrepreneur and sort of selling something online in the right way can be quite hard on social media. And that's something I think I've struggled with a bit. I think the answer to that for me has been just authenticity. If I'm just myself and the thing I sell or the brand that I work with, I genuinely believe in most of the time, then that I don't feel that guilt for making money online through my creativity. Yeah, I don't really think about the entrepreneurship side too much. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
What exactly do you do? Like, you make you said you make ads for companies?
Yeah, so I've done some editing for companies in the past, sort of realized I didn't wanna do that long term. What else have I done? I've done some UGC with brands like Nescafe, just like projects here and there. Um, but nowadays, most of my income comes from brand deals and also from my own product, which is the course that I have teaching how I do everything in CapCut Mobile, teaching my creative process and constantly building on that and helping other people to be able to edit like me on their phones. So yeah.
So talk to me about that course. How did that come about? Like, where'd the idea for that come?
Yeah, so I think it was about 6 months ago, and, all of my friends, like creative friends in the space was saying like, "You're such a good editor. You don't have the views right now. We're also confused why you aren't blowing up," because the content I was making back then was self-improvement based. It was a lot more sort of thought-based, like philosophical quotes type of stuff. The edits were really good, and the stories I were telling were really good, but I just didn't have the views to back it up essentially. And they were sort of like, "Start teaching how you do all of this. You do it on your phone. That's crazy. How have you learned this?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, might as well." And that's when things started to take off, when I started making those tutorial videos, and I realized the demand for just a resource that teaches everything, encapsulates everything in the creative process, editing in CapCut Mobile wasn't really out there. And I thought back to my time as a beginner editor back in school, struggling to like, why is this not working? Why is this layer above that? What the hell is going on? And I just thought I could make something here that could be really valuable to people and be able to let them make a career literally just from their iPhone if they want to. So that's sort of where it came about.
Okay. And you said that was about 6 months ago, roughly?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. That's when it first came about, the idea of doing that, and I think there was a bit of no, there was a lot of procrastination on my part of doing that, because making videos is a lot more fun than making a course teaching how to make
Absolutely.
video.
Mhm.
So it was a slow process, but I'm glad it was because I think
Sure.
in doing that, it helped teach me the skill of how to teach this. I think if I just rushed into it and was like, "Okay, I do this, I do this, I do this," I think I now know what it would be like for a beginner and how to teach that to someone of a lower level in terms of editing. So I'm glad I took my time with it, I'll say that, yeah, because 'cause I'm very proud of what I made now.
How many like, is it a members kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
How many
So
members are you up
it's
to?
I can check. I know it's between right now, we launched, last week, and
Oh,
we're,
wow.
like,
Okay.
getting on for 20 now, I think, which is good for the first,
Mhm. That's great.
opening
Yeah.
week. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see
Absolutely.
how it goes.
I'll definitely give it a look. I use CapCut Desktop, but I'll give it a look and see if I can learn a lot about CapCut in general, that's for sure.
Yeah, nice. I think that with CapCut Desktop, there is, definitely more that you can do than mobile,
For
like,
sure.
what can you like, making compound clips. There's just things you can't do on CapCut Mobile. But weirdly, I think I'd still choose editing on my phone instead of on desktop. I don't know why. I think it's like being so close to the edit, like it feels clunky if I'm just here like typing away. But if it's right in front of me, I can see how the video will look on a phone, which is what it's meant to be viewed on. So
Sure.
maybe that's it. Yeah.
That's
But I just
true.
really like
That's true.
editing on my phone. Yeah.
There's also kind of like an ease of access to it. Like, you could literally edit wherever and whenever you wanted to, so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, true.
Mhm. Was there a specific I tried to look through and see, it's kinda hard to tell because, of course, you've gained a lot more views overall, um, but was there a specific post or, like, clump of posts that really helped your account take off? Then now that you're up to 134,000 on Instagram?
Yeah, there was actually. It was my first proper tutorial where I said, like I always say at the start, "This effect was made in my phone in CapCut Mobile, and here's how you do it." And it was the first one where I did that, and it was basically just teaching how to do a glowing effect, like, to make your whole body like a glowing figure, and that did, like that's getting on it might be getting on for 1,000,000 views now, I don't know exactly, but
Hey,
it,
there you go.
yeah, yeah, it was good, it was a good video, and that was, like that was the first indication of, "Oh, shit, this is the thing I need to do now, this is what's working, let's
Yeah.
double, triple down on that
Mhm.
as a concept now." But yeah, yeah. The other weird thing was I made a video only about 2 or 3 weeks before that. It's still on my profile now, and the first line of it was, "Nothing happens, then everything does." And the video basically went on to say about how, like, you'll be seeing no success, and then all of a sudden, everything will happen all at once, and then it will just be crazy. And at the end of the video, I cut it's like a cutaway from camera. I go, "Oh god, I hope all that is true." And the crazy thing is, like, 2, 3 weeks later, everything happened. I thought that was
That's
quite
so
poetic,
cool.
you know? But
Yeah,
yeah.
that is very poetic. Mm. That's so interesting. That is so true though. I haven't yet seen a ton of growth and success on social media. I had a music account that I did that I grew to about 5,000 subscribers, and that was the most I've ever done with that. And had a couple videos go semi-viral. But I think that really is true that like once you kind of figure it out and lock into it, and something happens, it kind of just takes off. It really seems like it's that way.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So talk to me about Marbella, like what that trip was like, and I guess going to Spain with the boys and locking in.
Yeah, it was probably the best trip of my life. So to give some context, I occasionally go to London and I meet up with other creators. We used to do these small events, like first one, guy called Seth, who's my business partner now on the course and everything. I just reached out to him, replied to a story, and then we just sent a few voice messages back and forth. Became friends. We were like, "Yo, do you want to go to London one day? We can film content, just bang out a load of content, film some B-roll, and just talk business." And a couple months on, we do that again. Do that again. We start hosting these events in London where we've got like 20 to 30 creators turning up and we're doing like these mastermind kind of things. So that was crazy for one thing, just from meeting these people online and then meeting them in London. And some of the boys from London there were like, basically, what was the actual story? So one of them there, they owned a villa and they were like, 7 others of you can come stay here for free for a week. And
Whoa.
from there, it was, like, so last minute. It was like, "Okay, might as well we're going to Marbella then."
Yeah,
So
screw
there was,
it.
like I knew maybe, like, half the people there, and there was one guy that came in from Canada, one guy from
Wow.
I don't even know where else, and, yeah, so it was really cool to just meet all these different kinds of people with these different businesses and just share ideas. Yeah, it was really good.
So you were there for a whole week, just sharing ideas, like making content, get together and learning together, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, pretty much. So,
Okay.
everyone had different businesses, but everyone was making content, some at higher levels than others. I just wanna say though, there was one guy there from Canada, his business doing over 100K a month. Wait, that's Canadian dollars, but okay, 100K a month, still crazy.
Sure, still.
This guy was 18 years old. 18 years old making that money. That was just
That's
crazy.
stupid.
Yeah, stupid money. That's fuck you money right there.
That
But
that 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 is definitely getting to fuck you money. Yeah.
yeah, that was like that was my moment where I was like, "Okay, so much more is possible than I think here."
Certainly.
Um, and coming back from that trip, having, just spoken to this guy because he was such a nice guy as well. It was like he literally had everything figured out. This guy was younger than me, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"I wanna be like this guy. I wanna lock in, and I wanna be like this guy." So I definitely came
Mhm.
back from the trip with a lot of, momentum and a lot of drive to do a lot more. But yeah, the trip itself was mostly work, so everyone
Sure.
was
It was
working
not
on
a
their own
holiday.
stuff. No, it wasn't a holiday really. We had a pool, in the villa, that was really nice, but, nah, none of us were really drinkers. I only drank, like, 1 night out of all of them, and even then, like, it wasn't that kind of holiday. It was work, chill out a bit, film loads of stuff.
Mhm.
Bang Gym had the nicest gym
Yeah,
as well. I think it's, like, the
I bet.
nicest gym in Marbella, like, rooftop, like, with, paddle courts and everything. It was so nice. I love paddle now as well. I've come back from that with a newfound passion for paddle.
Is pickleball big in Europe?
I don't know. I mean, I've only vaguely heard of it, so probably not,
Really?
no. It might be on the
Because
rise now. I think that and paddle is a
pick
bit on the rise, isn't it?
yeah, it might be like flip-flop for us because pickleball is, like, huge here, and, like, I kinda know about paddle, and I think for you, you more so know about paddle and maybe kind of pickleball scene has gotten bigger or is getting bigger.
Mm.
Yeah, I keep hearing all these things about paddle, and now I wanna try it.
Yeah, it's so fun. So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool. I love Spain, dude. I went to Barcelona when I think with my family when I was, like, 22, 21 or 22. I love Spain. It is such a gorgeous place.
Yeah, it's so nice.
So, where do you see your content going in the near future? Like, what do you think? Are you gonna stick with what you're doing now, or is it gonna evolve a lot in the near future, you think?
I see it becoming less of, "Here's how to do this effect in CapCut Mobile," and, I wanna
Mhm.
move away from just being the CapCut tutorials guy, I think.
Makes
'Cause I
sense.
think you definitely, for one, you don't have that connection with your audience. You also become a bit of a commodity in the sense that you're only there for tutorials, basically, that it doesn't feel like you have that connection with the audience, and the quality of the followers that you get is definitely a lot lower, I'd say. So I'd quite like to move away from I'd like to be a lot more personal with the personal brand, to tell more stories, to be a little bit more adventurous with my creativity, I think, to, um, yeah, just move away from the 2 styles that I have, which is that white borders come down, super motivational, like, really in your face, and then the other style of tutorials, like, I wanna keep them going, but I think I wanna try and balance that more with, what is Sam about? What stories does he have to tell? And hopefully being able to make that a style that can consistently do well, because I find that every video that I make has a purpose. If you think of your account like a funnel, you have the top of funnel content, which is the thing that's going to get you views, the thing that's going to get enough eyeballs on you, like my motivational posts and my here's how to do this posts, and then you have that big broad funnel of followers, and you funnel them down towards the ones that are actually going to care about you a little bit more. And I think the way that you can do that, is to basically just be really authentic when you make videos about yourself. Because, like, if you've learned how to be you, which is definitely a lost art, but I think as I've gotten
I
older making
agree.
content, yeah. Well, I say as I've gotten older, like I'm some wise old man nowadays. I'm 19.
You're
Um,
some guru, yeah.
yeah, I'm just some guru trying to sell you something. But yeah, it's like, um, learning how to be yourself and
Mhm.
being, what do I mean? Being comfortable with people seeing who you actually are is
That's it
definitely,
right there, yeah.
yeah, the most important skill. Because if you are never who you truly are, and we're not just talking about content now, we're talking about life. If you're never who you truly are, then the people that will resonate with you will never be able to find you because you're being someone you're not. So you will just remain unhappy until you decide that you want to resonate with the right people and attract the right people into your life and into your content. So that's definitely maybe the most important thing with content creation, or at least long term, the most important thing with content creation is being authentic, I think, yeah.
Mhm. I also think a lot of social media stuff is starting to move away from that, like, um, super highly edited, like, highly produced type stuff, and it's definitely moving towards, please just be authentic and being you. It seems like
Yeah,
there's a lot of
definitely.
those smaller creators that are able to take advantage of that. Maybe even like older people that don't know how to do as much camera work. They just get in front of a camera and talk about what they know about life, which I think is really, really cool. And I think it would be super interesting to see how the internet and social media shifts in the next like 4 or 5 years. Honestly, I think that's going to be a really cool switch.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, social media is tired. Like, everyone's tired. It's the same stuff, the same, fast-paced brain rot, and then every now and then, someone young and new and exciting will come along and just shake that up a little bit. I think that's what people are drawn to now, and I think the way that people are doing that is by not following trends, by sharing their story, but not just, being boring, like, like, everyone's doing his day 34 of me doing X or doing Y, but, doing that in your unique way is what's good, I think, yeah.
And the best people will rise to the top. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Do you I've personally gone through a phase where I was uploading. This was about a year ago with my music account, where I was uploading every day for like 3 to 4 months. And then got super burned out from it. Have you ever experienced kind of like that super like burnout and like just the constant need to feel like you can like one up yourself?
I used to. I haven't for a long time now, um, but I definitely used to. There was a point where I was doing something similar to you, where I was just so obsessed with posting every day, and it got to the point where, like, I just left school, so I was like, "Okay, I have to make this work now. I have to get this many views, and if I get this many, then it can convert to this many followers, and then I'll be a success, and then I won't have to go to university or whatever." And I was so obsessed with numbers, I would literally be like, "This is the goal of the amount of views I have to hit every day," and I just make as many videos until it took that amount of views. And I look back at those videos and think, those were the most trash videos I've made in my life because making them for the sole purpose of views. I didn't like the content, I didn't resonate with my own content. So that was a big problem, and I just found like I ran out of ideas and I got burnt out so quickly. Yeah, I would say though, I feel like it's almost, like, necessary to have some kind of burnout or some point where you're going so hard at content, because especially at the start, because I sort of think that at the start of the content creation journey, it's so much about quantity, and then the more you develop as a creator, once you find your style, once you have become authentic, well, you can never truly, like, become authentic, but once you've learned how to be more authentic, on camera and, you know roughly what you're doing, then you can move from quantity towards just higher quality. But starting out is like you need to learn everything. You need to learn color grading, you need to learn audio editing, you need to learn how to talk with confidence and camera presence. You need to learn all these skills that take months and months to learn. Like each skill in itself is just one career. You can think of it like that. So you've got to learn so much to start with, which is why I think having that period of such intense quantity allows you to learn everything so exponentially faster, which in the long term is gonna be so beneficial for you. It's like Mr. B says, everyone's heard this one, like, "Make your first 100 videos, then get back to me and ask me what you're doing wrong, because you haven't done enough yet, and if you find something to improve every single time, then you're winning essentially." So I
Absolutely.
think there is definitely some burnout in doing that. But I think the more you learn to be in tune with your own ideas, your own creativity, once you developed a workflow that works for you, I think you can eliminate that creative burnout. Like, sure, you can still be working like crazy on other
Yeah.
stuff and just be tired, but, creative
Yeah.
burnout, I think I've learned to eliminate that. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty sweet. I think I come around to that same feeling in a very similar way. It's just, like the way you go about it definitely does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And definitely your mindset around what you're doing as well. Um, okay, that's pretty sweet. I do have a random question for you that's not really content related.
Yeah, go.
Um, are you a football fan? Like, well, we say
I'm
soccer
not.
here, but
I'm
you're not
not.
at all.
No, not really at all, no.
Dang, I'm a pretty big Man City fan and have been since I was like 8 years old.
Oh,
And
okay, nice, nice.
I was thinking you were gonna say you're like an Arsenal or like a Liverpool fan, and
My
just
best friend is
ruin
an
it.
Arsenal fan, and his whole family are Arsenal fans, so
Oh,
If
that's
I was to pick
awful.
any football team, I'd probably pick Arsenal, to be fair.
That's okay. I can forgive you.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Mm. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So realistically, I think what you're talking about with burnout is pretty interesting. That's something I kind of learned just with getting a little bit older. We're what, like 7 years apart. I think as time's gone on, I've learned that um, you can't know everything at such a young age, and you have to take time just like stacking skills on top of each other. And then eventually you'll get to a point where you actually feel competent about something. And that's just something that does truly take time. And when I was younger, I didn't really get that at all. I thought I was just supposed to turn 18 and like know exactly what to do about everything. So I think it's really cool to hear someone who's a good bit younger that's talking with a lot of wisdom. I think that's a really wise thing to say. And it's cool that you've learned that at a young age. I think that'll help you really keep going and taking next step after next step. So it's pretty cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. So the last question I have for you is if you could give one piece of advice for an aspiring content creator, whether they are 10 years old or 75, what would that one biggest tip just be that you could give them?
I'm just gonna take a minute on this one type of
No,
thing.
you're good. Take as long as you need.
I'd say this. I'd say be one of one. Be as uniquely you as you can be. With time, you'll learn the tools. You'll learn how to edit. You'll learn how to talk to a camera. But you can try to be these other creators. Like I've done that. I've replicated so many different people's styles, and I can just see it isn't me. And I think the views were a reflection of that. Like because it wasn't content that I loved. Like, I'll say that, make content that you absolutely adore, that you could watch 10 times over because of how addicting it feels to you. And there's a problem there, like, at the start of your journey, obviously your videos are gonna be kinda dog shit because you don't know what you're doing, you haven't learned anything yet. So it's
Yeah,
hard to do that at the start. Um but the quality of your ideas should be the thing that you absolutely adore. And when a video is made and the message in the video or just the editing style, when everything comes together, you should love what you make because there's
yeah,
enough people out there that are similar enough to you that are also gonna love what you've made. Um, yeah, but if you never express that uniqueness and you just try to follow trends and you try to do what everyone else is doing, then you're going to be like everyone else, and that's just not what you want long term. That's really not what you want. So just learning how to create an emotion in the video, know what you want to express, know what you want to bring to life. Be so in tune with yourself that you're able to do that. Like Rick Rubin, do you know him, the author of The
I
Creative Act?
love Rick Rubin too.
Yeah,
I
I love
love
him
that
too.
man.
Yeah, he has a thing where he says ideas are like floating around in the ether, I think he says, but essentially we don't create ideas, we essentially bring them to life when ideas are ready to come into fruition. So it's like sometimes you think someone else has stolen your idea because they had the idea at the exact same time and they did it and you didn't. It's just because it was the idea's time to exist. It was the idea's time to be. So he talks about having ideas. He talks about having like an antenna, and the best artists have learned how to tune that antenna to pick up ideas. And that's almost a metaphor, I think, having an antenna for just learning how to be in tune with yourself and what you want to create, and being able to bring that to life. Um, but it all starts with an idea that you really believe in, and
For sure.
it ends with impact. If you can leave
Yeah.
impact and an impression on the viewer in a way where they're thinking about your video in a week's time because of how powerful it was, because you took time to articulate what you were saying and learn how to articulate in the first place, because that's another skill where I think journaling is so important for that. I
Okay.
can say so much of my creative process and the success I've had as a creative has come from journaling and being in tune with myself. So the main piece of advice I'd give is be one of one, as unique as you can be, because then no one can replace you. You become the leader in the niche that you've created because you are the niche. To learn how to create an emotion within the video and
Mhm.
know what impact you want to leave, because these videos and your message should be something that's worth sharing and something that
Mhm.
people want to hear. So that's what I'd say.
That's a great answer. I love all that. That's awesome. Real
Thanks, man.
quick, tell me how you journal. Like I used to
How
do
do
it all
I
the
journal?
time.
Yeah. So I don't have such a rigid process. I'll essentially
Mhm.
every night I prefer to journal at night because then I can reflect on the day. I'll reflect on sorry, you and my dog in the back barking.
Okay, okay.
I might close my door actually.
There it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. So I reflect on the day, on what I enjoyed about the day, the things that stood out to me, what I think I could have done better, what I was grateful for that day, and I'll always write down 5 things like I'm grateful for, just to put me in more of a higher frequency of one of gratitude, I guess.
Mhm.
I'll have a look at my journal now, see what kind of stuff I'm putting. I talk about
Okay.
how I struggle as well, and the things I think I should have improved on. Um, but yeah, it's essentially documenting how the day's gone, the plans I have for the next day, any ideas that I've randomly had. Just I don't like having to have too much in my head. I want it to all be down on paper somewhere, whether that's on my Notion
Relatable.
template. Yeah, it's so useful to just not have everything clogged up, so I can come here, see all these random ideas I have. I like to plan my days as well, so it's essentially just my mind personified on paper. I think. Yeah. There's no real system, like, have to do this, it has to be structured in this template or whatever, it's, like, just a dotted thing, like, dotted pages where I can put wherever I want. The other thing I do as well is, what do you even call that? I'll show you what I write. I just write, "I am abundant. Everything I desire will come to me with time." I can do this without looking at the paper, actually. "My patience is growing daily. I become more conscious of my limiting beliefs every day. I am in control. I am the captain in the cockpit of my mind. My discipline grows with the empire I build for her." And then I end it with Jesus Christ, all voice cracked there. I end it with, "I am a future multimillionaire. Act like it." I should have said that with more confidence. No need for a voice crack there. But yeah, so I'll journal that every single morning. I'll say that to myself. But yeah, that's pretty much my
Sweet, dude.
journaling process. Yeah.
Hope somebody can take something away from that because I know when I used to journal every day, kind of like that. Not maybe not as much, but definitely every day for a couple of years. And I took a lot of the same stuff away from it, like you just talked about. And I think that can really help for someone to hear. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's all the questions I got. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I think this is really enjoyable, and I think anyone that hears it will absolutely love it. I think you did a great job explaining how you make content and what you do and where you're going, and I'm excited to see what you can do. So
Thanks for having me, man. Could I ask you a
of
question?
course, sure.
What advice would you give to someone who's just turned 19, um, what advice would you give to me is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As someone
Yes.
the older generation.
That's the someone that's 19. That's I'm gonna assume that's you. Yeah. um, I actually talked about this on a little solo podcast I did 2 episodes ago, and I think you maybe have a little bit of a grasp of this idea, but it's just like understand that when you're a little bit younger like that, you don't really know a ton. And I'm not saying that to sound like sound rude or anything like that. I just mean it like in a sense of as an adult, you're basically a 1 year old adult right now. Um, and you're not really expected to know everything about the world. It feels like you should know everything about the world. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, when you turn 18, I think there's this expectation to just be ready for everything that comes at you. But you can't be ready for everything that comes at you because you've never lived it, you've never experienced it. Like for instance, when like a revelation I had within the last 18 months to 2 years is just exactly what a whole year entails. A couple years ago, I didn't really understand that in the summer, like I was, I love being outside more. I love being around friends a lot more, doing more outdoor activities. But then it's like the winter came, I would tend to get into those more like depressive emotional states just because there's not as much sunlight. It's maybe raining more. It's colder outside. And as time's gone on, and I've lived more, I've learned that I can prepare for what's coming and I can know more about life. I can know how to interact with the world differently if something's going on differently in life. So just have that curiosity and kind of that mindset of I don't know everything about the world right now, and that is completely okay. I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna get there and figure it out. That's probably the biggest thing I would tell you.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to learning more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's dude, you're about to get into your 20s and it is a hell of a time, that's for sure. I did go to what do you call it uni, but I went to college um and partied it up and did a bunch of dumb shit and uh went through that whole phase and then came out of it and kind of gotten to where I am. And it's been a long, hard path, but 20s are awesome, man. You're gonna enjoy it. So
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having
yeah,
me,
man.
Adam. This has been great.
Of course. Yeah, thank you so much. If I'm ever in London, I'll hit you up.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be sick.